I'm so stressed. I can't do this. This is so hard.
Do you see this student? She suffers from a common ailment that all high school students experience. It's called stress.
She isn't able to manage her time because of the overwhelming amount of work that the school puts on her.
Results shown by a survey given to the students of McHenry show that more than half receive 3 or more hours worth of homework each and every night.
An alarming 87% of these students said that they felt stressed trying to balance their lives academically and socially.
Those same number of students found themselves at a loss of free time.
This has been a growing epidemic in this school and in this town. We must get to the bottom of this problem.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. Love and tradition of the grand design, some people say, is even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. 'Cause all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every scene. Days go by, we're gonna fill our house with happiness. Moon may cry, but we'll smother the blues with tenderness. Days go by, there's room for you, room for me, for gentle hearts and opportunity. As days go by, it's the bigger love of the family.
McHenry West campus is the home to more than 1,500 students. Originally established in 1968, McHenry West has given educations and experiences to students for years. However, as the school has grown and evolved, more AP classes and extracurriculars have been added.
With these additions, there has been an exponential growth in the push for students to be involved in everything by the school. However, is this a positive push or a negative one? We dug deeper to find out. We headed to the office of Mrs. Potoff, who is the head of the AP department and principal of McHenry West.
We just some rascals, take over the universe. Sade flow every time I spit a verse. Taking old lady purse, then we get it in.
Do you know how many students are in an AP class currently?
Well, we've seen a dramatic increase. There's several hundred students enrolled. Last year, we took, I want to say 600 and some AP tests. Since the last 5 years, it's been a dramatic increase in the number of students both taking the AP class and taking the exams.
So we were wondering, why the sudden increase?
Okay, so over the past few years, probably the last 10 years, college admissions has become much more competitive. So it used to be that colleges would really just look at your grade point average and your ACT and what classes you were enrolled in. But then when College Board introduced advanced placement courses, a lot more college admissions people thought, well, if students can show that they can do well in an AP classes, which is really a college level class, they're probably going to do better in college. That used to not be part of the admissions equation, but when colleges started to say, hey, we're going to give more weight to students who take AP classes, then the high schools are basically compelled to say, well, you need to enroll in these classes so that you are at least on equal playing ground with the other students who are taking those AP classes. So, it's really twofold, is to let students know what's going to be expected in college, but also to increase the likelihood that they're going to be admitted into college.
It's kind of the colleges pushing it?
Yes.
So we wanted to know what the students thought about this push and how it affected them and their lives.
My name is Margie Cohn, and I'm involved in Triumph Music Honor Society, marching band, drama club, student council, a youth group at my church, and NHS.
So, do you choose to take AP classes because you want to, or because the school and everyone else pushes you to?
Well, I would say for me it's both. I think the school and a lot of people put pressure on kids to take these AP classes, or a lot of people, think, oh, you're not smart if you're not in an AP class or things like that. But I honestly took it to challenge myself, but I think there is a lot of unnecessary pressure because you can still get a good education and you can still talk to colleges, and colleges will still look at you even if you don't take AP classes.
What Margie told us seemed to ring true with students at McHenry. A survey given to the students of McHenry showed that 94% of them believe the school pressures them to be involved in as many activities as possible.
Do you find it hard to manage all your time?
I do. I think it's hard not having time to just be with my family or be alone.
Do you think it's too much? Like, too much for yourself? Like, too much AP classes, too much, like, involvement? Like, when do you think it's too much?
I think it can get to a point where you can't balance your school life with, like, your extracurriculars. And at that point it gets to be too much because you don't have a sense of time management, or it becomes really hard because you're piling so much on your plate that you have to start, choosing what you love to do over what you have to do. And at that point I think it becomes really difficult.
To learn more about the factors impacting students' time management and stress, we stuck around McHenry West Gym after school to see all of the athletes who stay in practice or work out. Many of these athletes are actually in the midst of their off-season, but are still here every day to work out with their team. To see how this commitment affected their lives, we sought out to ask Mr. Burmeister, the athletic director here at McHenry, a few questions on the topic.
So my first question is, what percentage of students are in sports?
I would say approximately 28-30% of our students are involved in sports.
On average, how much time must these students devote to their sport?
Depends on the sport. Some sports require a little bit more. You guys are both athletes, you know that when you're done with the sport, you don't just go home. You have weightlifting. You've got film that you're going to watch on your own time even. So I would say that there's a lot of time that is devoted by certain students to activities and athletics. A lot of it's choice, though. You make choices, and every time you make a choice, you have an opportunity cost, so you have to give up something else. You may have to give up watching TV to be involved in sports or doing homework or something if you're in athletics.
Based on what we saw from the students and from what Mr. Burmeister told us, we concluded that the relationship between free time and academic or extracurriculars is very much an inverse one, in the sense that as students take part in more and more activities, they will see a decline in the amount of free time they have. Simply put, students do not have time. After comprehensive brainstorming, we found that the best way to figure out our question on free time was to write an equation and solve it. However, we were missing a piece of the puzzle, and without this piece, the equation seemed completely unsolvable.
That's when I sat down and took a shot at the seemingly unsolvable equation. After rigorous studying and examination of the problem, I had a breakthrough. It became crystal clear. The answer was simple and right in our faces all along. The last piece of the puzzle was
Part-time jobs!
we sought out to find students and people who understood the problem of working and being involved in the school. We wanted a different perspective on their thoughts of how the school pushes students to be well-rounded.
I think students are feeling a lot more stress to take the highest level classes, to do well on the ACT, to be involved in school, and then financially, in order to be able to do all those things, a lot of them have to have a part-time job. So I would agree that there probably is more stress now than there was probably even 10 or 15 years ago.
Okay.
We visited common workplaces around town where fellow students and friends were employed to see what it was really like.
Hi, who are you and what are you involved in?
My name is Kevin Vasquez. I go to West Campus. I am in football, I run track, and I work for A&J Restoration.
Does work hinder your academic output?
Well, usually I try to work my hardest in school, but because of work and athletics, it makes it a lot harder to get all my work done. So I find myself working on my homework late at night, which makes me a lot more tired. So yeah, it does affect my grades a little bit and my homework on how much I do my homework. And that gets me a lot more exhausted for the next day, so I can't focus as much.
We gave a survey to the students of McHenry about these issues. Their responses were surprising. 82% of the students said they had 2 or more hours worth of homework each and every night. 54% of students said they had 3 or more hours worth of homework each night. 86% of students found themselves staying up late at night to finish homework. 93% of students said that they were involved in other activities such as sports, band, or clubs. 88% of students that are involved in these activities found themselves at a loss of free time. And 87% of students found themselves stressed trying to balance their lives. Through our investigation of students and their lives involving school, we have come to see that the pressure the school provides to be well-rounded can be helpful, yet harmful as well.
By pushing students to get involved in as much as they can and taking higher level classes, it helps them become college ready.
However, students need to know their limits and what they are personally capable of.
To aid students, the school should ease back on the push for students to take difficult classes and be involved in as many activities as they may not be prepared or have the time for them.
Students need to challenge themselves, but not get overwhelmed with over-involvement.
We thought that Mr. Ellison had the perfect quote to describe the school's current mindset on this issue.
And I think that's kind of the overarching theme of America right now is get really involved in everything and don't really get good at anything. Just become mediocre.
Students need to distinguish between what they love and what they are pushed to do.
Like what Mr. Ellison said, you must focus on what you truly love and build on your strengths.
You do not have to be a part of things simply because someone tells you or pushes you to.
In the end, it is your choice on what to do in your 4 short years of high school.
So make them memorable and have fun doing it.
Thank you all for your time.
We just some rascals, take over the universe. Sade flow every time I spit a verse. Taking no lady purse, then we get it in. Till I got stopped over by the Grimson Chin. Fairly odd parents, where you at? I want an orange mansion and a nice cat. Like Garfield, and you know my cart feel so fly, made your girl do a cartwheel. Ew, man, I'm so acrobatic. These haters can't see me achromatic. Black superhero, you can call me static. Boy, I'm shocking, A-side rocking, time tick-tocking, wanna go to college. Lizzie McGuire and Hillary Duff, surrounded by 3 girls just like the Powerpuff. I'm Mojo Jojo and I'm spitting loco.